Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a moment or two to become present. Sit on a nice, comfortable cushion or blanket, block, something that allows your spine and the back of your neck to sit nice and tall and straight, opening up your chest, opening up your diaphragm, and opening up your heart. Gently close your eyes and soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders. And soften your heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale, and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or a phrase to have with you on your mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning's intention I'd like to talk about is celebrating the summer solstice and the new Ayurvedic season. Thursday, which is a very early summer solstice, it happened at 4:50, so it kind of happened at late in the day. So yesterday was the first full day of summer. It also was International Yoga Day, which is just an aside. But today we're going to focus on the Ayurvedic summer solstice. And Ayurveda is the sister science to yoga, and it focuses on 3 doshas. The doshas are energies. And those doshas are the Pitta, the Vata, and the Kapha. We and other things like the seasons have these energies. Pitta season is from summer to early fall, and it is governed by the elements of fire and water. So think heat, humidity, which we had in abundance this week. So the book I've been enjoying a lot about Ayurveda is by Claire Ragozzino, and it's called Living Ayurveda. And she says, Pitta season with the hot, sharp, and intense qualities of summer months needs us to adopt a softness and an attitude of playfulness to find balance. And Ayurveda is all about balance. So staying cool in mind, body, and spirit is the name of the game. So to stay in balance in summer, here's some suggestions. You would emphasize foods that are sweet, such as fruits, bitter, such as leafy greens, and astringent, such as legumes. And these would be lightly cooked or raw and lightly spiced. No hot stuff. Have a consistent meal routine and stay hydrated. So in Claire's book, there's a recipe for Hibiscus Sun Tea that looks really nice. It actually has all 3 of those elements are emphasis, like the sweet, the bitter, and the astringent. So I am going to put that in our link for you to have the recipe. The other thing to stay in balance in summer is to emphasize breathing that expels excess heat and calms the mind, such as the Sitali. That's a breathing technique, a pranayama. Nadi Shadana, and that's alternate nostril breathing, and Samavriti, and that's equal length breathing. And these breathing techniques or pranayamas focus on rhythmic inhales and exhales. Also, a couple weeks ago, we talked about using the Nadi Shadana just with one nostril, because the nadis, the channels along your spine, hook into different things. And during the summertime, if you want to just use your left nostril, she refers to it as the lunar breathing technique. So you're breathing through the left, which is the cooling side, which is the moon side versus the hot sun side. So that's a option as well. And then another thing to stay in balance in the summer is to emphasize movement that is slower, steady, light, and fun. She suggests practicing at 80% effort, which kind of comes along the line of what I often say of finding that sweet spot is between effort and relaxation. She kind of spells it out in a percentage, so 80% effort. And remembering, this is something I've used to often say, but that yoga is not a competitive sport. So it's something that we do to keep our mobility. It's not a competitive sport. So a suggestion would be to try some moonlight yoga. I know there's a full moon out there somewhere behind the rain clouds today. And that anytime you're incorporating moon energies, it has a cooling effect. And the optimum hours to do that would be from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And if you're out there anytime after dusk, you'll see the fireflies, and you'll be able to do your yoga with the fireflies that are just going wild right now. It's so much fun. So those are some Ayurvedic tips for the summer. One of them for our pranayama today, we're going to do the cooling breathing techniques, the cooling pranayamas. There's actually two. She referred to one, the Sitali, and there's another one called Sitkari. So Sitali is something that you would do by curling your tongue, and some people can't do this, so that's where the Sitkari comes in. So Sitali is curling your tongue and inhaling through your mouth through that curled tongue, and the curled tongue is like creating a straw in your mouth. So you're sipping on that straw like that, and you do that, and you can feel that coolness of breath come in. And then you would close your mouth and exhale through your nose. So let's just try 3 of those. So if you are unable to curl your tongue, or if you're in public and a little concerned about how that might look, the Sitkari might be the one for you. And the Sitkari, hey, Oscar. The Sitkari is just creating a nice big wide smile, having your teeth come together, and then inhaling with a hiss. And then closing your mouth and breathing through your nose. So again, it's a broad smile, inhaling through your teeth using kind of a hissing sound, and then closing your mouth and exhaling through your nose. So let's do that 3 times. And you can feel that coolness that comes in. So those are the pranayamas that suggest for the summertime. And let's begin our practice. I'm going to meet you on the mat. We'll actually just jump right into our practice today without a meditation. Maybe we'll take an extra long shavasana at the end just to relax and chill. So another suggestion for Pitta season is in your practice, again, you find that sweet spot between effort and relaxation. And the types of movements that are good for Pitta season, the summer season, hot months, are twists, chest openers, and forward folds. So we'll incorporate quite a few of those today. And I kind of think of it as having a lot of standing poses. You're grounding to the earth. So that's a good thing. The earth is one of those cooling elements. So anything that connects you to the earth, standing poses, or a lot of the recline poses, kind of staying off your stomach, but recline poses will connect you to the earth as well. So, being outside, just maybe laying in the grass or having a picnic, just connecting yourself lower to the earth. So let's start by doing a few seated shoulder shrugs. We'll just kind of loosen up our upper body, maybe any tension that we may have built up over the last couple of weeks or the last week. We just went through a week of pretty much almost every season known to Ayurveda. We had a very cool Saturday, extraordinarily hot Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then kind of back to spring weather today, or fall weather, either one. So it's quite the roller coaster. It's hard to know what to do to keep cool or to keep warm. You go to bed feeling hot and you wake up freezing. But in keeping that attitude of playfulness and fun will get you through it. All right, we'll do some sun breaths with some chest openers. So bringing your fingertips to the sides. So just inhale, lifting our hands up overhead. Big inhale. And then hands come together, bringing them to heart center. And inhale, opening them up wide, opening up your chest wide. And then exhale, bringing them back together. Inhale, bring them up overhead. And then exhale, just float them back down to earth. Just slow and steady movements, inhaling up. Exhale down. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale up overhead. And exhale down. We'll do this a couple more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale up overhead and down. And one of those pranayamas suggested was the Summer Tea, which is equal length breathing. So if you get your flow nice and even up and then down, maybe to that 5.5 count. Opening up and then closing. And up overhead. And then we'll bring them down for the final one. Another suggestion was forward fold. So we could do this seated forward fold. I like to, if you have your legs crossed at your ankle, I like to uncross them and lie them down side by side. And gently walk your fingertips out until you get to that sweet spot of effort and relaxation. And don't strain, don't sweat. And then we'll just kind of bring our elbows down, bring our head down, and just relax, totally relax into this pose. You relax with your exhales. And then walk your hands back, up. And we'll take our left knee, raise it up toward the sky, wrapping our right arm around and bringing our left fingertips behind our hips and twisting over to the left side. We're going to come back to center, and we'll do that on the other side. So you have your feet flipped, the left leg comes out in front. And then we'll just walk our hands forward. Again, just finding that sweet spot. It might be a little lower than last time. Or if you're switching your legs, it might stop you even higher up. Your body is very unique. Just listen to what it's telling you to do today. Guide your elbows toward the ground, bringing your head toward the ground, relaxing into the pose. And then walking your hands back. Lifting your right leg up. Wrapping your left arm around your right leg and bringing your right fingertips behind your hips, twisting your torso to the right. And then come back to center. We're going to roll down on the mat. So you, again, have fun with it. You can roll down express method or knees bent or knees straight out, whichever you prefer. Slowly roll down, bringing your knees to your chest, giving your knees a nice hug. Maybe rock a little back and forth. Give your lower back a massage. Then we're going to interlace our hands and wrap them around the left knee and extend the right foot down to the bottom of the mat. And when it reaches the bottom of the mat, you can put it on the mat, the heel on the mat, and point your toes to the end of the mat. So keeping both toes pointed, you're going to lift your right leg up, pointing up to the sky. And once you get it as high as that's comfortable, And then flex both feet, that's both feet. And then we're going to bring the right leg back down. Then point both toes to the top of the mat. Lift the right leg up as high as it can go, pointing up to the sky, and then flexing your feet. We'll bring that right foot back down to the mat. And one last time, pointing the toes, lifting the right foot up, pointing up to the sky, flexing both feet, and then bringing both that right heel back down to the mat. Then we take the left foot and place that down on the mat and slide it down so that you're in reclined mountain. Both feet are on the mat. Both legs are on the mat. Now we'll take the right foot and slide it up the left leg to the point where the sole of your right foot reaches your left kneecap. And your legs become a figure four. You just kind of snuggle into the mat. Feel that semi-hip opener. And then we'll bring that right ankle over and place it on top of the left leg, right above the knee. And then slide the left foot up so that the left foot is on the mat and the knees pointing up to the sky. And we're in reclined pigeon pose. And this is one version. You can stay here, or if you like, you can bring your left foot up into the air, flexing both toes up toward the sky. Perhaps even interlacing your hands behind your left thigh and guiding that left thigh toward your chest. And just gently breathe into this pose. Nice equal length inhales and exhales. And then we'll place the left foot on the mat and slide it down, keeping the right foot on your left leg. And then with our left hand, we're going to take our right knee and guide it over to the left side. With your right arm, send your elbow out and make a goalpost arm. So your left hand is on your right knee, guiding it over to the left for a nice twist. Right arm is in a goalpost. Shoulder blades are nice and snug in the mat. And you can release this toes and then bring your knees back to your chest. Give them a nice hug. Again, rock back and forth. Give your lower back a nice little massage again. And then we'll take our interlaced fingers, wrap them around the right knee and send the left leg out all the way down to the bottom of the mat. And point both toes down to the mat, to the end of the mat. And then lift that left leg up, keeping the toes pointed, pointing left toes up to the sky. And then we'll flex both feet and send that left leg back down. Point the toes again. Keeping the toes pointed, we're going to lift that left leg up toward the sky, pointing up, flexing the feet, and then send the left leg back down. One last time, pointing the toes to the end of the mat, lifting the left foot up, pointing directly above, flexing the feet, and then sending that left leg back down. And then you place the right foot back on the mat and slide that all the way down. So you're in a reclined mountain pose. Then taking the left foot, we're going to slide the sole of the left foot up the inner part of your right leg till it reaches the knee and your legs become figure four. And place the left ankle on top of the right leg, just above the kneecap. Bring your right foot, placing it on the mat, pointing the knee up to the sky. Reclined pigeon pose. This is one version. You can guide your left knee, kind of opening up your hip here. Or if you'd like a little bit more effort, again, if it's really hot, you may just opt out on that. But if you'd like, you can lift your right leg up, flexing both toes up toward the sky, interlacing your hands behind your thigh, and then slowly guiding your right thigh toward your chest. And keep that breath nice and even. And then place your right foot on the mat, sliding it all the way down, keeping your left foot on your right leg. Then we'll take our right hand, guiding our left knee over to the right side, coming into a twist and bringing our left arm up into a goalpost arm. Shoulders are nice and snug in the mat. This would be a great thing someday if you're out doing a picnic. You have your picnic blanket out and you're gazing up to the sky and watching the clouds float by, sending all your worries up into the clouds, let them drift away. And maybe just incorporate a few yoga poses while you're there. Nice twists, opening up your chest the way it is. Alrighty, now we're going to roll back up. So your option, you can roll over to the side and make your way back up, or you can roll on your spine, just kind of rock and roll until you come into a seated position. Then we'll come into a tabletop. So your wrists are right below your shoulders, knees right below your hips. Navel's tucked to your spine. Fingers are spread apart, pushing down gently so that you create that space between your shoulders and your ears. And then gently turn your head, looking over to the right side, and then nice and even flow, turning it back to center, and then keep going over to the left side. And then back to center, guiding it over to the right side. And just kind of loosen up things in your neck, upper shoulders, by flowing your head back and forth. And then we'll bring it back to center, back to tabletop. We'll do some cat and cows. So exhale, rounding your back, dropping your head and tailbone down, really stretching out that spine. And then lifting your head and tailbone up, sending your gaze straight ahead. And that's your cow. And then rounding your back, again, dropping your head and tailbone down for cat. Inhale, lifting your head and tailbone up, sending your gaze straight ahead for cow. And then just keep a nice, even flow of breath and movement synchronizing them together. And then when you're ready, come back to tabletop. And we're going to go into child's pose with our arms extended out in front of us. So lowering your hips to your ankles, keeping our hands out in front of us. We're going to stretch our hands as far forward as they can go. So really stretching out the arms, shoulders. And then we're going to come up, back to tabletop, keeping our hands where they are. And then we're going to come down to the mat. So it's kind of a chaturanga, but with our knees. So knees, chest, chin. So our hands are under our shoulders. We're going to bend our elbows toward our mats, keeping them along our rib side, bringing our chest and chin down to the mat. And then gently lifting our chin and our chest up and gently pushing down, we'll come into cobra. And then from cobra back to child's pose, so lifting up to tabletop, lowering our heels, our hips to our heels, keeping our hands stretched out in front. And we'll do that a couple more times. So lifting back up to tabletop, coming down, knees, chest, chin, keeping our elbows tucked to the side. Chin reaches the mat. Then we'll gently lift the chin, then the chest, pushing down, coming into cobra. And then pushing up into tabletop and down to child's pose. And one last time, we'll come back up to tabletop. Knees, chest, chin, elbows are tucked to the side. Coming down to the mat. Inhale, lifting our chin and our chest up, coming into cobra. And then up to tabletop and down to child's pose. And then come back up to tabletop. We'll tuck our toes underneath, walk our hands back, coming up onto the balls of our feet, pushing down and coming up to mountain pose. Have our toes facing the straight edge of the mat. And we'll lift our toes up off the mat, spread them apart as far as we can, and then bring them back down into the mat. Lift our heels up off the mat, and then bring them back down. Really feel that connection, that grounding that mountain pose will do. And the elements of good posture. I was getting ready today and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, gosh, you would think after doing all these elements of good posture all these years, I'd have good. I'm like, no, I had to straighten myself out again. I'm like slumped. So let's go through it one more time. So your legs are nice and straight and strong. Knees are bent. Navel's tucked to the spine. Spine and back of your neck is nice and long. Shoulders are rolled back. That's where my problem is. I don't keep my shoulders back. I keep them slumped forward. Chin is tucked slightly to your chest. Crown of your head reaches up to the sky. And then we'll take a big sweeping inhale, bringing our arms up overhead. And then exhale, bringing our hands down to the mat, bending our knees as we go to support our lower back. And just check in here for a moment. How is everything going today in your body? Maybe in your mind? And maybe your spirit. Just check in on all three. And then inhale, bring your hands to your shins, creating a nice, long, straight spine, back of your neck, sending your gaze down to the mat. Half forward fold. And then dropping the crown of your head down toward the mat. Forward fold. Sweeping your hands all the way up overhead. And we're going to come up onto our tippy toes with our hands up overhead. Just balance here for a moment. Adding strength to our toes. And then lowering our hands slowly. Lowering our heels slowly. And trying to synchronate. Having your heels hit with your arms down. We'll try that a couple more times. If you want, you can try using one of the cooling breaths too, the Sitali with your tongue curled, or Sitkari with your big grin on your face, hissing through your teeth. So inhale up, coming up on your tippy toes. And exhale down, closing your mouth, breathing through your nose. One more time. Who says you can't do two things at once? Not very well, but alrighty, we'll bring our hands back down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. Inhale, bringing our hands to our shins, flat back for half forward fold. Gaze goes down to the floor. Then dropping the head down toward the mat. And sweeping your hands all the way up overhead. Palms come together. We'll bring our right arm down to our right thigh. Supported side stretch. We'll slide that right hand down toward its knee, creating a nice crescent shape. And then inhale, come back up again. And then exhale, bringing the left hand down to the left thigh, sliding it down toward the knee. Crescent shape on the other side. And then back up again. And we'll do that one more time on each side. Right hand comes down, sliding it down. And back up again. And then left hand comes down. Left hand over. And then come back up again. Both hands are overhead. And we'll bring both hands back down to the mat. Bending our knees as we go. Inhale. Bringing your hands up to your shins. Nice flat back. Then sending the crown of your head down toward the mat. Let gravity take over for a moment. Now we're going to place our left hand in front of our left foot, bending our left knee toward our left arm, keeping the right leg straight or semi-straight. We're going to sweep the right hand from the mat all the way up to the sky, and you can follow it with your gaze. Nice twist and chest opening. And then bringing the right hand back down. We'll switch sides. Right hand in front of the right foot, bending the right knee toward the right arm. Sweeping the left hand all the way up to the sky, opening up your chest. And then bringing it back down again. And sweeping both hands all the way up overhead. Palms come together above your head. Palms come together at your heart. And palms come to the back of your hips. We'll just have our fingertips pointing down. Feet are about hip width apart. Shoulders are relaxed, rolled back. Chin's tucked toward your chest. And then we'll just drop our shoulders coming into a supported back bend. Keeping our chin toward our chest. And just find that equal length breath again. And adjust your angle so that your breath can be nice and even flow. And then coming back up again. Well done. The moisture in there, everything's sticking together. Alrighty, we're going to sweep our hands all the way up overhead. And then we're going to bring the hands forward, dropping them down so that our arms are shoulder height. And we'll do this 180 twist, is what I call it. And it was introduced to me at watching the video for the International Yoga Day. So it's my nod to International Yoga Day yesterday. So we'll bring our right hand out and all the way back. It's a nice twist, a nice gentle twist on your body. And I suggest following your extended hand with your eyes. Really incorporate that twist. The other hand, in my case, the left hand's on the right shoulder. Try to keep everything at shoulder height. And then bringing your right hand back 180 degrees. Have both hands meet in front. And we'll do that on the other side. So the left hand goes out and an arc of 180 degrees. Following it with your eyes. Bringing your right hand to your left shoulder. Your hips should be kind of pointing toward the front, hip bones pointing toward the front. Don't twist your hip bones around. Just try to keep them facing forward. And then we'll come back. We'll do that again on the other side. Slow, steady movements. So I have my right hand fully extended out. And then I'm going to bring it back and do the left arm. Being in the middle. And then left hand makes that arc. Following it with my eyes. I can really feel the twist on this side. And then coming back to center. Then we'll bring both hands down to the mat to forward fold, bending our knees as we go. Extending the right leg back, coming into runner's lunge. So the left knee is above your left ankle. Both hands are framing your left foot. Right foot has your right heel pushing toward the back of the mat. We'll plant our right hand on the mat and sweep the left hand up for runner's lunge with a twist. Again, lots of twists, lots of chest openers, lots of forward folds. And then coming back down with the left hand, place the left knee on the mat, the top of the left foot down on the mat. And we'll come up into a low lunge. So we're gonna have our left knee above our left ankle and sweep both hands up to the sky, creating a little bit of an arch in your back. And then bringing the hands back down to the mat. Coming back into runner's lunge. So you're coming back up onto toes. And we'll go into a high lunge from here. So high lunge, you can do it in 2 steps, come up to your knee and then up. Or if it's a little wobbly, you can pivot your back foot down and come up into a warrior 1. Either one, your choice. Again, we'll do a little bit of an arch in your back. And then we'll bring our arms into a warrior 2, planting the back foot down if it's not down already. So our left knees over our left ankle. Just be able to see your big toe. Arms are at shoulder height, I believe. Chest is pointing to the long side of the mat. And then we're gonna do peaceful warrior, bringing our left hand up overhead. And as we do, we're gonna straighten out our left leg. So left hand goes up to the sky, left leg straightens. And then we'll come back down, bending our knee as we go. Coming into a extended side angle, so we're going to place our left arm on our left thigh, sweeping our right hand all the way to the front of the mat. Now we're going to create a nice even flow with this. So bringing our right hand back, coming back up to warrior 2, and then sweeping our left hand up as we straighten up our front leg. And then flowing back to that extended side angle. Nice even flow. And then coming back up again to warrior 2. Stretching out. Lifting our left hand up to the sky, straightening our left leg. And then coming back to warrior 2. And then we're going to pivot so that both feet are out, pointing toward the corners of our mat. Heels are tucked in. Arms are straight out at shoulder height, creating a star shape, well, semi-star. And then we'll put these arms into goal posts and bend our knees, coming into goddess pose. So we're lowering our hips toward the mat. We'll do that 3 times, coming back up, straightening out our arms, shoulder height. And then bending our arms to goal posts as we lower our hips down toward the mat. And then coming back up again. And one more time, goal post arms as we lower our hips down toward the mat, maybe a little bit further. And then coming back up again. Arms are straight out. Pivot our feet back into warrior 2, bending our knee, sending our gaze to our left fingertips. And then straightening out our left leg, we're going to go into triangle pose. So straightening out the left leg, reaching the left hand forward to grab something, and then sending it down toward our leg, sending our right arm up to the sky. And then bringing our right hand all the way down to the mat, bending your knee, coming into runner's lunge. And then lifting our back foot up and bringing it alongside your front foot, Coming into forward fold and sweeping our hands all the way up, overhead. Palms come together, palms come to heart center. And we'll do that on the other side. So sweeping our hands up overhead, and then dropping them in front of us at shoulder height. We'll do the 180 degrees. So let's start with the left hand, swinging that out 180 degrees. And just create a nice even flow here on your own. Swinging it back to the front, and then sending the right arm out and around, 180 degree arc. Following your fingertips with your eyes. Nice, slow, even flow. And then to the right. Find that drishti with your fingertips. That's one of the 9 drishtis. And then one last time on the other side. Coming back to center. And we'll lower our hands down to the mat, bending our knees as we go, and extend our left leg back into runner's lunge. Planting our left hand down into the mat, we'll sweep our right hand up to the sky, opening up our chest, and then bringing our right hand back down to the mat, lowering our left knee to the mat, on top of our left foot to the mat. We'll sweep our hands up into a low lunge, a little bit of an arc on our back, and then sweep our hands back down. Coming back to runner's lunge, tucking our toes under. You can either do high lunge, that's keeping on the ball of your foot, or if you want to pivot your foot back and heel down to do warrior 1, your choice. So sweeping up into a high lunge, get a little bit of an arc in the back. And then we'll pivot our feet, come into warrior 2. So the right knee is forward, right knee's over the right ankle, arms are at shoulder height, back legs nice and extended, edge of your foot into the mat, gaze is to your right fingertips. And then we'll sweep our right hand up as we straighten out our right leg. And then flow it back down to extended side angle. Right arm comes on the right thigh. Left arm sweeps overhead to the front. And then just gently sweep it back. Coming back into warrior 2. And then back to reverse warrior, peaceful warrior, with the front leg straightened. And again, flowing back to extended side angle. And one last time, sweeping it back up to warrior 2. Reverse warrior, straightening out the front leg. And then back to warrior 2. Then we'll pivot our feet so that our toes are pointing into the corners. Heels are tucked in, arms are at shoulder height. We'll bend our arms into goal pose as we lower our hips down toward the mat. And then reaching back up, extending the arms straight out. Again, bending the arms, lowering the hips down toward the mat. Maybe come down a little bit lower. And then back up. And one last time, goalpost arms as you lower your hips down to the mat. and then back up again. And back to warrior two. Sending your gaze to your right fingertips. We'll straighten out our front leg and reach our right hand forward and then down to triangle pose. And then bring our left hand down to the mat, pivoting, coming into runner's lunge. And then bring our left foot to meet the right foot, forward fold. And sweeping our hands from the bottom of the mat, all the way up overhead. Palms come together, palms come to heart center. We'll bring our pinky toes out to the edges. Heels are tucked in. We'll lower our hips down toward the mat. Coming into wide-legged squat. Elbows are on the inner part of our knees. You can guide your Anjali Mudra down toward the mat, opening up your hips just a little bit wider. And then we'll set our sit bones onto the mat. And do one last twist by sending or coming into staff pose. Hips are on the mat, toes are flexed up to the sky. Spine is nice and straight and long. We'll take the left foot and we'll bring it to the outer edge of our right knee, the outside of our right knee. And we'll, let's see, bring our right hand right next to our left foot, and then bring our left hand to the back. So we're going to twist our torso to the left. And then come back to center, come back to staff pose, legs side by side, feet are flexed, spine nice and straight. Then we'll do that on the other side. So we'll bring our right foot on the outer side of our left knee. Bring our left hand to the mat right next to our right foot. And then bring our left hand back, twisting our chest open. And then back to center. And we'll roll down. Either express, which will be my choice, or knees bent or knees straight. And bring your knees to your chest. Give them a nice hug. And then we'll take our toes and create nice big circles for the full moon that is out there somewhere behind the rain clouds. And you can go the opposite direction, giving your lower back a nice gentle massage. Just think of you doing moonlight yoga. Lovely. Okay, and then bring your knees back to your chest. Give them a nice hug. Extend your arms out to each side. And then on the exhale, lower your knees to the right. Keeping your shoulders snug into the mat. And then slowly turn your gaze over to the left to look at your left fingertips. And slowly turn your head back to center. Lift your knees back to center. Exhale, lowering your knees to the left side. Shoulders are nice and snug in the mat. And slowly turn your head to the right. Look at your right fingertips. And then bringing your head back to center. Bring your knees back to center. And putting your feet down on the mat, their feet side by side, keeping your arms out at shoulder height, extended. Take our knees and drop them to each side, bringing the soles of our feet together. It's reclined goddess pose. So our soles of our feet are together. Knees are elevated. If you have blocks, you can put them under your knees, like the blanket cushion. Then we'll take our arms and put them into a goalpost. So they're at elbows at shoulder height and hands are up. Recline goddess pose. Would you just relax here for a moment? Really like that connection of my feet, soles together. It has a different feeling than when the soles of my feet touch the ground or the floor. There's something about them touching another part of me that's full of energy. And then we'll prepare for Shavasana. So you can slide your feet down and out to the corners of the mat. Bring your arms down so that they're angled out alongside of you, palms facing up. And take a few deep breaths. Maybe these breaths you exhale through your mouth. So you feel that real relaxing comfort. And today I have for you a Summer Solstice Blessing. The author's unknown. It's the midsummer's evening, the shortest of night, where our planet is blessed with the greatest of light. The sun at its power, sharing its wealth, with the earth glowing in abundance and health. The trees' leaves are green, the birds are in song, the days are as warm as they are long. We honor the animals, the plants, and living things, the sun and the water, and for that life that it brings. May you find well-being and may you find peace in days after solstice as the light does decrease. May the blessings of the solstice be yours, I pray, and the light warm your heart and soul every day.